Hey friends, welcome back to the Finding Joy in Your Home podcast. We are actually back here on video for those of you who are watching over on YouTube. If you're listening on audio, doesn't make a difference. But we, as you know, we've been traveling the last couple of weeks to my grandmother's funeral and then North Carolina to visit Jason's family. And so we are back. We're back at home in our studio / just our bedroom. Corner of our bedroom recording. And today's episode is going to be a little bit different. But usually actually about once every 2 years, we kind of do a State of the Union address.
State of the Union, I like that. State of the Balme household.
State of our household, which in the last 5 years, we've had many
lots of changes,
crazy updates. And today is no exception. We have got some big updates for our family, personal life, as well as our business. We've got big, giant, huge things, which is everything's really exciting. Yeah. It also is what has turned out to be a really overwhelming year.
So far, it's only March, and we already feel like it's been, 6 months, 9 months.
Well, looking through the rest of the year, too, I'm like, oh my gosh. So we're going to let you in on that. We're going to talk about our secret project. So if you're a podcast listener, you're not on my email list, you haven't seen on Instagram, our secret project launched Friday. I've been teasing it to you guys. So we're going to discuss that today. You're going to get all the details, all of those things. So we're going to jump in because Jason and I are actually both completely exhausted.
It's at night. It's getting late, and
hopefully we look okay.
This episode has to be edited after it's recorded. So,
well, I'm thinking. So we just got home 3 days ago from our 2-week road trip,
only 3 days.
We launched the app. Then as soon as it feels like we've been home for 3 weeks already. So, but we're excited to be sitting here chatting with you guys. Let's jump in. Okay, so one thing that is really interesting to me. So we're in middle of March now, which, like you said, kind of this year has felt a little bit like it's been 6 months long.
Yeah.
And part of that is because I was just thinking about this. When we look back at December, these big major things we're about to talk about, none of these big major things were on our radar.
That's true. Actually, yeah.
Not a single one.
Not a single one.
So that's how drastic things have changed in the last 3 months. Really, really good, exciting things, but a lot of really big changes and pivots.
Yep.
And so our 2024 is looking, even my goals, some of this stuff we were kind of vaguely like, are we going to possibly have a baby this year? Maybe.
Yeah, that was on the horizon in December.
Right. But we didn't know. We weren't pregnant yet. Or didn't know it yet. And we kind of were wondering / hoping, are we moving this year? Like there was some things that were like a possibility, but like the year was so up in the air that, even my goals and stuff, I was kind of just making plans for what I knew was going to happen, but they could change and things have majorly changed. So the first biggest thing most of you guys know is we are now expecting baby number 8.
Yep.
We actually found out on New Year's Day. So I was pregnant for half of December, technically, but we didn't know it. Yeah. So we kind of just started January 1st and was like, whoa, this year's going to be a little bit different just because of that. So we do have baby number 8 due in September. But I have a window in my uterus, so it most likely will be about 3 weeks before. So we're looking at...
That's what they did with Ricky, which was the same situation,
Which looks like mid-August. So right now, the new baby's birthday will probably be, if everything stays the same, it'll probably be 1 week after Ricky's birthday.
Yeah.
He'll turn 2.
1 to 2 weeks after Ricky.
Well, right now it'll be 1 week, unless... anything changes.
Unless you can go a little bit longer.
No, if anything, it'll probably go earlier.
As long as it doesn't go 1 week earlier.
If something on his birthday, no, we can request at that point. We could be like, can we have it the day after?
We don't have to. Yeah, that's not.
Unless obviously like an emergency. But hoping we're not expecting anything like that to happen. But you never know. Things come up. So we've got that. We've got baby number 8 coming, and we are now moving. And we are launching our biggest project we've ever done. That's really changing things in a big way.
Which, like you said earlier, we've technically launched it, but there's so much stuff to do still for it. Many things that are going to be coming out. So it still feels like we're launching it.
There's probably a lot of people. Yeah, it's like continually launching.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of people who haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
What any of this is yet.
That's true.
That's what we're going to get into. So first up, we're going to share a little bit about our family, what's going on. I've been kind of teasing things a little bit here and there. And so I've been getting questions daily of what's the gender? Wait, are you getting an RV? Are you moving? Because I've now mentioned a couple times, like, I'm not doing a big garden now because our year changed. So we're going to share, that. Now, first thing, we're going to go ahead and share what we think is the gender.
Yes.
All right, babe, what are we having? We think. I'll tell you why we think this.
We are having number 8 is going to be a boy.
Another boy number 7.
That's apparently all we know how to make.
Okay, so, well, no, we have one girl. So if you're new here.
We have one exception.
We have one girl. So I feel very confident that it is a boy. So we had a blood test, which the blood test is like 99.9% accurate.
Yeah.
However, right after we took the blood test and we're like, okay, it's a boy, we're excited. I mean, we're very, very excited. Yeah. Magnolia was a little bit like, I wish I had a sister. And I grew up with only brothers. So I completely understand that desire. And I obviously would have loved to have another girl, but we love our boys as well. So, we're very excited. However, we found out right after the blood test that we were carrying twins. And we lost one of the twins really early on. Now, we lost the twin early enough that we don't think that it affected the blood test, but there is a slight possibility that if the baby I'm carrying is a girl and the twin was a boy and we lost the boy, there's a very, very, very small possibility that the boy chromosomes were still in my bloodstream. But we really don't think that that's the case just based on the timeline. Yeah. So we're kind of, that's why people are like, because I told people, we know the gender. And people have been like, what is it? And I know a lot of people are, I think because we've waited, I think a lot of people are thinking it's a girl.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, let's let people know that. And so we're kind of waiting. We've been waiting for I'm 14 weeks. So we've been waiting until this next ultrasound to just really confirm gender, make sure it's a boy. Especially for me, I'm such a planner. Like I'm like, okay, if it's not a boy, I need to get things because I've got all the boy things.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're very, very. I mean, I feel very confident.
We're highly confident. But,
I really think it's a boy.
Yeah.
But there is just this little tiny. That's why I haven't kind of done an official announcement yet.
Well, because that's the way the blood tests work. Is all it is doing is searching for that the male DNA. If you have that in your bloodstream, it's a boy. But if it's picking up something from a twin that we didn't know we had that had passed, could there have been that in your bloodstream, and in fact, the one that is surviving is a girl? That's it's a low possibility.
But even if that happens, it easily could have been twin boys, which is what our other twins are.
Which is
are
what
all
we've
boys.
done, yeah.
So, and after you have a baby, the male chromosome disappears within your bloodstream within like 48 hours. So it's just, we're in this murky area where like the doctors are like, we have no idea how long it takes. So, it'd been a couple weeks though. So anyway, so we're just kind of, we'll let you guys know when we know for sure.
If it changes, but that's unlikely.
We're fairly certain that it is a boy, and we are very excited. We have names. We have a name picked out. I think we're good on the name.
I mean, we're sitting on it, but we're pretty comfortable with it.
I feel pretty confident
with
it.
But I mean, we have many weeks left in which to change it.
Yeah. We both get because we're planners. We're like, I'm like 8 weeks, and I'm like, we have to pick the name.
We usually just kind of work at it and work at it and work at it until we've come to something that we both like.
Look, I never imagined that we would have to name 7 sons.
No.
So it really does. It gets hard. I mean, you have two boys, and you're like, we've used our favorite names, and we want to both love our names. We don't want to just like give this kid like a throwaway name. We've named too many. So we really.
You were number 8. Your name doesn't matter.
So we really want to work at it, and then what happens too is by the time you've had 8 children, we start to disagree more on names. And we've always been pretty united, thankfully.
Well, there's always
names.
just been a larger pool of names that we both like. But
right, like I could love one, but you're like, no, I don't like it. Yeah. And so you just kind of move on. But yeah, now we're getting this one. We got to the point where like, I loved a name. He hated it. He loved a name. I thought it was too weird. So you get to that point where you're like, oh, we got to find one we both love. So I think we're there. We're not going to announce it yet.
No.
But the kids keep calling him by that name. So I don't know. The more, you start to use it and you're like, oh, I really like it.
Yeah.
So it does fit in. It does fit in with our M and an R.
Yes, it
our
does.
M and our R scheme.
Our inadvertent naming scheme.
Yeah, this really wasn't. People are like, you did this on purpose. And we didn't with the first. And then it like kind of became on purpose. And then we were like, well, we got to find with Maverick. We're like, well, it should be an M. And anyway, so we have all the kids' names start with an M or an R. So we will. Well, I guess I can say it doesn't matter. This baby we've found an R name for.
If
so it'll be,
in fact, is the name we stick with.
Yes. So it'll be 4 M's and 4 R's. So it's actually really cute. See, we're set. We're set on it. So we'll see. So anyway, so we've got that. Very excited. I have everything basically that I need for the boy, which is really exciting. So baby on the baby front, I don't really need to prepare much other than, Ricky's only 18 months. And every time I'm like, I forget everything. And I'm like, what do I need for newborn? What do I need for the hospital? So I definitely do have to get that together sometime this summer. But other than that, by baby number 8, you got all the baby stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about this next thing.
Okay.
All right. So we are shaking things up though. So, okay. Baby's going to be born mid-August. I think August 22nd is like what we kind of have on the books, but the C-section's not set or anything for that yet. Somewhere around there. So why don't you tell the story?
Yeah. So
we thought we were going to be in this house all the way through having the baby.
Yeah.
And it was like super comfy, super easy. Good plan.
Well,
it changed.
when we moved here, we've been renting, and the idea has always been to rent here until we find a property or a house that we would like to move to and buy and own. And so we actually originally kind of just assumed, and plans change, but we kind of assumed that it would be maybe like a year. So we signed a year-long lease, and then last year we just realized actually it's going to be another year. So let's just do that. So
especially with how the housing market's been.
Especially with how the housing market is, we just wanted to be more settled. And so we're nearing the end of our second year lease in this house, which we've really enjoyed and, we've been very thankful for. But we anticipated being able to go month to month because now we're finally feeling like this next year could be the time where we actually, change it up and find where we want to be and buy it. And so we expected to do that. But then we found out that for reasons we won't get into on the podcast, we're not going to be able to go to a month to month lease. So
So we had basically been told that we'd be able to just do month to month, which was perfect because then we could stay in the house through having the baby and then move out September, October, whenever we're kind of ready.
Yeah.
And like no big deal because you just give your 45 days or whatever and it's good. Well, a week before our lease was needed to be actually like signed.
For the extension or.
Yeah. The landlord had changed his mind, and so it was either sign a year lease. Or you can leave
or
now.
Notice to vacate in 45 days. Yes.
Yeah. So it kind of left us. It really left us. I mean, was it even a week?
It was less than a week.
It was like 2 days. Yeah. No, you're right. It was like 48 hours.
So we had to do a lot of, thinking and praying and deciding, do we just say, fine, we'll be here for another year without the ability to buy? Or do we, then it's like, well, there's no way that we're ready to, like, we were not prepared to move in 45 days. So we decided, I did some negotiating back and forth and we ended up being able to settle on a fixed lease, but for just a few more months, not a whole year. So it lets us out of the house at a more opportune time, I guess, for the house to be on the market, that sort of thing.
Well, and yeah, that was his reason. He didn't want the house to be open in the fall because we live in a college town. And so, and I understand that reasoning, but also we've been really good tenants for 2 years. So anyway, but it's fine. I mean, God also works through it because now we're like, okay, this is the new plan. And we had really considered signing another year, but this lease is like an absolute nightmare to get out of early. And we really just didn't want, for a whole bunch of reasons, we really didn't want to be locked in.
We just didn't want to be locked in for a full another year.
Well, because it was in February, we had to make this decision and the new lease would go through the end of the following March. So we're looking at like 13 months. And anyway, so.
Yeah. So long story short, we decided, well, not really short at this point, but, we decided that we were just going to go for now.
Okay. No. So can I back up?
Yes.
Okay. May. So here's where, you look at things and you're like, this was not our timing. This was like a bummer. Like in my timing and my ease, I would have vastly preferred to just be in this house through having the baby. We've got all our stuff. I mean, we're set, right? I don't have to do any work. We're just here. That'd be my preference. But we looked at this and we're like, hey, God's changing something. Well, what happened, I think, a week before we found out about the lease, maybe
something like that.
We actually found our friends who are selling their RV and we were like, wait a minute, that one would be amazing for us. Like we've been for the last 6 months, we've been looking at RVs. We've been like talking about what our next step might be.
Yeah. Well, because as you probably, if you ever listen to the show regularly, you probably know that we sold our RV a year ago, or not quite a year ago, but last year.
Almost.
And but we've always had the intention to get another one that would fit our growing family better.
We need a much bigger one.
Just a larger one, and that we also, even though we're done traveling like full time, we've always wanted to do more trips and visits. Like we settled down before we ever even did New England, for example. And so we've always wanted to go and spend a couple months up there. And so that's always been a thing we've been desiring to do. And like you just said, we have been searching and looking for several months now.
Our biggest next plan is to buy raw land. And if we have an RV that's comfortable enough that we would build.
Yeah, that's always
while
been
we're living in the RV.
One of our like ideal goals or plans to find has always been if we were able to find a great piece of land that it'd be great to have an RV we could actually like be in while building, that sort of scenario.
So we kind of found this, and our friends were, kind of through talking about it, we're like, oh, this would be a really great deal. This would be like, it would be amazing. But like at this point, we really don't want to pay for the RV and have our rent. Like it's either or for us at this point is what we would prefer. And so like, we're not, I mean, I know there's people who have super fancy houses and they have this super fancy RV and, that's not in our budget. Yeah. And so it's more, for us, it's more so we're not, we don't want this like, RVs are crazy. We looked at a couple, we were at one recently and the guy's like telling us about it. And we're in it and I'm like, he didn't tell us the price at first. And I'm like, this thing is bougie. And then at the end, he's like, it's only $900 a month. And I'm like, oh my word. And we could tell this one was like a really, there's some RVs with like bells and whistles.
Yep.
And so we're looking for something simple that's big that we can do like a lot of renovations on ourselves.
Yeah.
To make it fit for our family living and full time.
Yeah.
So this had come up and we were like, this is not the right timing, but our friends really want to get rid of it right now. But this, we don't want to just pay for this RV to sit, for another year. And we're making both these payments.
Yeah.
And so,
so then literally less than a week later, when our lease is now up in the air, we were like, oh, there is that RV that we thought we would probably have to pass on.
No, we had this moment where we were like,
maybe.
do we do what Jason and Jamie do and do the crazy thing? Do we do the safe thing and just sign another year lease? Yeah. Or do we go the
safe
hard
and easy
route?
Thing or the exciting hard thing?
Or the hard route. So we chose the hard route. I'm sure it doesn't surprise anyone. That's what we usually do. So we're really, really excited. So it's going to mean a harder summer for sure, and not what I would have chosen. However, for our end goals for what we want to do and where we want to go, this is amazing. And
it overall accelerates the timeline towards our goals. It's just like accelerates it so much that we were like, oh, we were not almost ready yet, but okay.
We did. We tried to talk the landlord into letting us stay in the house through September. Like, just let us stay till then. And he was like, nope.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is we are moving out of this house. We are moving right into the RV full time. We're going to be able to renovate it first, which will be really, really nice before we're in it. Because we're going to be doing some, nothing like crazy.
Nothing
we
like
knocked down walls. Time. We did all kinds of stuff in our last
kitchen.
one.
We did lots last time.
That came later though. We some of the stuff we did in stages.
Yeah, that's true.
Painted the outside. I kind of want to paint this one. Not yet, but maybe like next year. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to move into it and be stationary this summer just for 2 months. Have the baby. And then we're going to figure out kind of like what our next steps are. So we're just going to get settled for the summer. Not even the full summer, just July, August. And then have the baby. And then at that point, we can really start discussing. We would like to do a little bit of travel and really just figure out what our next step is. But we will be in the RV full time. But we're not going to be doing, like Jason said, so if you guys are new around here, in 2020, we sold our house after it being on the market for a year.
Yeah.
Moved into a renovated RV. We're not new to this. Maverick was 5 weeks old when we moved into the RV.
Yeah.
So people are like, how are you going to do this? I'm like, oh, we've done this before. Yeah. This is actually easier than it was.
Yeah. And then
the world's not shut down.
Yeah.
He was born in April. And so it was like crazy. So anyway, what was my point?
Well, we traveled full time for 2 years and explored the country.
But like traveled though, like we made, we did not have a home base. We were moving every 2 to 3 weeks, laps around the country. Yeah.
In those 2 years, we put like 100,000 miles on our van.
I thought it was more than that. It was like 130.
In the last 4 years, we've put 135,000 on it, but we've been here now for 2 years.
And we live like in the city now. It's like
we don't do much
little spurts.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're not going to be doing crazy full-time travel, but there are we haven't done New England yet. Out of all our travels, we never got to New England.
That's the main area that we've really missed. And then there are a few spots here and there that we never did. And then there are some of our favorite spots that we'd love to go spend some more time in. The ones, the highlights from last time.
It's also going to allow us to be able to, we have family in California, and we have family in North Carolina.
Yep. About as far apart as you can get.
Literally, like ocean to ocean. And so it's going to allow us to be able to see them more, which we haven't got to see as much these last 2 years because...
The primary difference is that we're going to be doing these travels, but with more of a home base this time, as opposed to just being fully nomadic. So we'll take trips and then we'll come back. And I think that I'm looking forward to that just because it was really fun the first time, and I don't have any regrets about doing it that way. That's what we wanted to do. It was
amazing at the time.
But now, having done that, and just with some of our other...
We don't want to move as fast. We don't want to be on the go nearly as much.
Yeah, I have more like, business goals and other things that doing that makes it harder to do. So we're going to be doing more
when our kids were younger and like homeschooling wasn't nearly as much, like
for all those reasons,
it was way more flexible. And for the time, it was like exactly what we needed then. And so now we'll do a lot slower travel. We're not going to do like all these little crazy stops. And plus the RV is much bigger. We're going to have to get a truck to tow it. We're going to have 2 vehicles. It's going to be more of a hassle this time around than it was. And
to move around. Yeah.
So anyway, so that is, everybody's like, are you getting another RV? I will show pictures soon. I'm starting to get everything planned out. We've got, wallpaper and all that fun stuff. So we'll be starting that, I guess, May-ish. We'll be starting to do all the renovations.
Yeah, because we'll move at the end of June. So probably May is when we'll start.
So we'll have some time. So then we'll have to move out of this house in June. Plus I'm pregnant. So there's just a lot there's a lot going on in the next couple of months.
Plus we have another trip that we're going to be doing in May.
We're going to have to go, to California. And so there's, I'm already like, woo, okay, that's where you just take it 1 week at a time.
It's the middle of March and I'm already mentally like at the end of May. And it's
I know. Well, no, I'm like I'm in July already, like planning all the stuff. So, but lots of good stuff. We just this summer we'll be on super hard mode. And yet we feel very thankful, like the way that God has orchestrated this there's millions of reasons we could share so much more, but God is just good. God is good. And we're a little bit nervous at first to take the plunge. Like, are we going to do this again? And now that we've made the decision, we've been sitting on it for like a month. Not even that long, huh? A couple weeks? I don't know. Losing track of all sense of time. No, it has to be like a month because we were already gone for 2 weeks. It was the
middle of February.
Yeah, so it's been like a good month.
That we decided,
And now I just feel like, of course this is our year. Like, of course this is what we're doing. And so it definitely is, though, taking 1 week at a time because I start thinking about how busy May is going to be, how busy June. I'm going to be getting bigger, less energy, middle of summer, moving. Like, you start thinking of some of the details and I'm like, woo. And I'm like, nope, literally like 1 week at a time.
Yep.
1 week at a time is what we're going to take it. Okay. So that's kind of our family updates. We'll share with you guys the RV. It's going to be really fun. This is a big RV, so it's going to be fun renovating it this time.
Yep.
I was already like, like I'm picking out like the colors and the wallpaper and the things. I'm like, there's a lot of surface in this RV. Like, this is a lot. And we definitely do it on a budget. And so that's always fun too, finding the perfect thing you like and it's way too expensive. So I already have some really fun ideas. Like, I'm itching to get in there and start.
Yeah.
I'm ready to start working on things.
Me too.
So we're very excited. Okay. Let's switch now so we can actually wrap this up. Let's talk about our business. Let's talk about our big, crazy, insane thing. So in December, like I said, this new project was not even on our radar. But we are so thankful God brought this technology on our radar. And at first we thought, this is going to be astronomically expensive, but like, let's get on a call with them. Let's see if this would work.
Well, it's something we've wanted to do for a long time. So it wasn't not on our radar in that regard. It was just not on our radar in a realistic, able to do anytime soon thing.
So if you guys haven't seen yet, what we are doing is we are launching an app, an actual, real, branded, our app.
It's a whitelisted app in the Apple App Store and in Google Play Store or whatever they call it. And it's
not technically listed in Google Play yet. Google is being ridiculous.
They're just taking forever to approve it.
By the time you listen to it, it should
probably will be in there.
But it'll be like any second. So it's called the Joyful Home app. And we have wanted to do this concept we've had has been for years. The problem is the technology hasn't been there or the affordability hasn't. So we looked like,
hiring an app developer to build it just would have been prohibitively expensive.
We looked like a few years ago, we were working on something. We got several quotes. And I mean, it was like 30 grand just for like the initial startup and then like the monthly maintenance fees. I mean, it was
hosting and bandwidth. Yeah.
My gosh. We were like, okay, we're a small business. We are not Amazon. Like, we cannot do this. And it was just, I mean, and then even then you didn't know how good it was actually going to be. Like, there was so much. And so that's what it's always been. So we found, through somebody else, we found this great company, who's a Christian company. This is one thing we really, really love. The people that we're hosting with that like build the app for us.
And do the maintenance and all that.
They do everything. We don't have to do, we just like upload our content and it's like easy for us. They're a Christian company and they're a very conservative Christian company. So one thing we really like is Jason got on the first initial call with them and they said, like, we'll never cancel you. Like, there's no, and there's so many influencers, there's so many businesses who work with various companies. Like, I know there's a lot of podcasts and stuff that go through Patreon. Patreon has canceled Christians before just for saying we believe in biblical marriage. And, if you stand up for biblical values today, it's more of a, when, not an if, you're going to be targeted by these companies.
Yeah.
And so we've been on platforms before, even email service providers that we've known, like you could just wake up one day and they've taken your account down.
Yeah. We changed our email service provider at one point because of that, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So there's just a lot out there. And so when you're building your entire business on a platform, it's really scary. And plus you're paying like, this new app that we're developing, it's not cheap. It's not $30,000 a month, but it is not cheap. It is not an insignificant amount of money for our business to invest.
It's a large ongoing cost.
Yes. And the cost rises the more subscribers you get, which is great, but also
it's a great problem to hopefully have.
Yes, right. And so what we love too is that our money is actually able to go to this Christian company who is wanting to support other Christian content on the internet. Like it's like this awesome like circle.
It's just Christians supporting Christians and doing awesome things.
And that's what we need. We need Christians who are, because everything is so expensive today. Mm-hmm. Everything's expensive. All of us feel like there's no room in the budget. And so, looking at your Disney Plus subscription, it's like, oh, what is that money going towards? And so I just love being able to, wherever we can, this is what we do in our personal life. Like, okay, so here's a great example. This is like such a tangent, but I'm so passionate about it, so forgive me. Okay, so for the last 3 years, the only place I've bought any of my tea is from a company called Farmhouse Teas. And they are a small Christian farm in Oregon or Washington, right?
I don't remember.
They're somewhere in the US. And they are a pro-life company. Like they are, like their family has adopted several children. They are like unabashedly Christian, pro-life. And when you buy your tea in bulk, it is so much cheaper. And it's all organic. They're amazing, but it's so much cheaper than buying the tea bags. Mm-hmm. Like if I ever run out, I go to the store and I'm like, $8 for like 8 tea bags where you get a big bulk thing of tea. And so that's where I get really passionate about like being able to use even just this little tiny part of my grocery budget for tea that we go through a lot, get better quality, get it from a better company. And so our tea budget is able to go towards supporting this Christian company. Yeah. And it just gets me so excited. Like we've always been that way. Like, our illustrator for Sterling Spectacles is a Christian stay-at-home mom, just things like that. I love when we're able to just keep that kind of that cycle of money going through to different companies. Like, and our, the printers of our cookbooks is a really small local like family run printer right here in Oklahoma City. It's things like that just get me really excited. And I love that. So it's kind of a tangent, but it gets me really excited that our platform is built. Not only did we find an incredible platform, that's not even why I saw it and was like, we need to get on the phone with these people. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, they're Christian. Oh, and then talking to them, it's just, I feel very thankful.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting process overall. So we should probably now talk about what the app actually is, because we've only hinted at it. And then we went off on tangents.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Well, why don't you, in your words, you describe.
Basically.
We need an elevator pitch. We need a 2-sentence pitch of like, okay, ready, go.
Wow. Yeah. Go. This is not really my
This is our marketing.
The Joyful Home app is just basically access to a library of all the content that we've pretty much ever created and ongoing stuff that we'll be putting in the app. A lot of it is original content, video courses, audio things, even ebooks and stuff that we've created over the years. And then also, if you follow our print business, that we've recently been creating classic reprints of like classic old books, like some Puritan literature, that sort of thing. And so we have things like that on it.
Your Sterling Spectacles book series. I wrote a book on Proverbs 31.
My original children's book series is in the app. So basically, it's a repository of all of this great content, which is really centered around a joyful home. That's why we titled the app that. And it works with finding joy in your home as the name of this podcast and our website and everything. And so basically, it's access to all of that whenever you want on your laptop or in your pocket on your phone.
So it's access to everything we do for $10 a month.
Yeah.
So that's the big change. And the thing is, I fully understand and completely sympathize with the fact that like a subscription is scary. And I know a lot of people,
they can be annoying.
When we first kind of announced it, before you could kind of see what it was, a couple of people were like, oh, everybody's doing subscriptions. And I'm like, I know, I get it. There's Patreons out there. People are now charging on Instagram for subscriptions. And so when we really talked about it, we kind of, I've always been resistant a bit to the subscription model. This is why
we've always avoided doing them.
Because it can be really hard when you're like, that's great. I love that podcast. And I'd love to get, that second episode they do every week, but it's $10 a month just for that. And I get it. I mean, I'm not saying that's not worth it. I think there's so many incredible businesses out there. We've subscribed to the Bright Hearth Patreon, and we have loved that. We love to get to support them. I think it's totally worth it. But it is really hard when budgets are super tight. And so one of the things we wanted to do is if we were going to ever go this route, it needed to be worth like $30,000 a month, like so above and beyond anything that you would expect, that the $10 then becomes a no-brainer because of the sheer amount you're getting. Yeah. So for example, this is one like small thing. I'm not promising this. Okay. This is not a promise, you guys. Our goal is to do about 2 audiobooks a month as new releases. That would be our goal. Okay, we're not promising because we're going to have, there's going to be so much new content coming out every month. We're
still in the content calendar phase of planning out the rest of this
Figuring
year.
out like what is doable.
So some of these numbers that some of these statistics are, what we've been, forecasting. But
well, so if we do, this is 1% of what's on this app. So if we do 2 new audiobooks a month, well, how much is an Audible subscription right now? Like $14 a month for one book?
It's $14.99.
For one book. So that's what we're really trying to look at is like, how can we bring the absolute most insane amount of value to our audience? And so what I very much look at this as is such a huge benefit to our audience. And I know it can feel scary at first being like a subscription, but I'm going to walk you through the numbers here in a minute with a couple of our products to show you how this is actually, in some ways, it's a little bit of a risk for us, but it's actually greatly reducing the cost of our products. Like,
overall it is reducing
by an insane amount. So I'm going to share. I have a whole like thing down here I'm going to talk about. So the first though, I wanted to kind of talk about the benefits of what this app is. And you can get on. So one thing I really like about this app model is, this is important. It's not just an app. So you can download the Apple app or the Android app, but it's also a full website. So some people are like, I don't have any room on my phone for more apps.
Just open it in
or
your
you
browser.
Just want the whatever. You can access the full thing on your browser. What that also allows is you don't pay through like Apple and then just like your phone has the Apple app. You actually make like your own login on the website. And then that's how you log into the Apple app or the Android app. So I always tell people it's great because a whole family, it's designed that one household can use it. And so everyone in your family can be signed in. Yeah. And the resources, we should have said, we're starting to develop more resources for the whole family, not just for women, but men and children too.
Yeah. Well, and that's actually why I tried to say a joyful home, not just a joyful homemaker.
Mm-hmm. So what could happen is like you could log in on the browser. You could have the Apple app like signed in. This is all one account. You can sign in on your phone, on your Apple. Your kids could have the Apple, app on their iPad and they listen to Winnie the Pooh and Sterling Spectacles when they go to bed. Our kids are listening to Winnie the Pooh tonight. And then your husband could have the Android app where he's listening to the Christian Classic series, and it's all in one account. And that's what I mean. A lot of times apps can be frustrating because you're like, well, I just paid for this, but I want my husband to have access and he has an Android or, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so that's one really great thing is like everybody has access to all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then another huge benefit is that you no longer have to pick and choose which content of ours you'd like to purchase and go through because
we usually come out with several new
so many things a year.
Courses or boot camps or conferences or what have you per year, but all with their own, price tag.
And they're all going to be in the app. And you get them.
Yeah.
You get them. Okay. So it allows us then, this is a huge benefit to everybody, is it allows us to spend time on projects that serve our audience really well, but don't necessarily bring in an income.
Yeah. So like making audiobooks, which takes a huge amount of time, and people love them, but like
they take so long.
Yeah. So having the app to put them in is awesome.
Maybe that actually, like I say that sentence and I'm like, that sounds like terrible. We only do things for money. But the thing is, the reality is this is Jason's full-time job, and running your own business takes way more hours than we even have to begin with.
Right.
And so some of these projects that are not bringing in any sort of income, while they've been fun to do, we just can never find the time to fit them in because we have a family that we need to step away from the computer and have real life. And so this is going to allow us to be able to prioritize. For a while, Jason had his Hurry Up and Read podcast, which was so fun. He's reading Christian classics. And yet it was one of those like passion projects we could never, ever, ever fit the time in for, even though it was so popular.
It was very popular.
Well, now we're going to be able to do all of those audiobooks right in the app. And so it's really going to allow these projects that are like audiobooks, like, bringing on, so we have so many ideas. It's going to allow more time for us to be able to bring those in that are very popular. So Titus 2-Minute Podcast, that's going to be coming back now with the new app. So there's been so many incredible things that this is going to allow us not only to do more paid content in the app, but also to bring back favorites that are free. Like one of the things is Jason's going to be working on Household Hermeneutics podcast again. It's going to be able to allow us to bring back more free things to serve our audience as well. It's not that we're all of a sudden moving everything we do behind a paywall. We're still going to have all the things we already have for free now. In fact,
this podcast is going to continue. It'll be in the app, but it'll be free.
Yeah. And actually the podcast player in the app is really nice.
Yeah. But it'll still be on Apple and everywhere else too.
Oh yeah. But we're not moving everything behind a paywall, but it's going to allow us actually to do more free content as well.
Yeah.
And then also I should say you can actually sign up for a free account on the app and it gives you access to like all the podcasts are on there for free, but it's a really nice podcast player. And then there's not much else free in there right now, but we're going to get a couple free courses. There's going to be some more free stuff that's going to be in there.
I think we have Baking School with Jamie in there as well.
Oh yeah, Baking School with Jamie's in there. If you haven't watched that yet, go watch it.
Yeah. There's going to be more coming out. That's one of the things is we just launched it, but we're still filling it out. We haven't even put, honestly, probably not even a tenth of what's going to be in there of just existing content is not even in there yet. And yet there's a lot on there.
Yeah. So that my last benefit was it's going to make many of our products significantly cheaper for our audience. So here's the scenario I've been talking about. So this is where you can really see, it feels scary, like a subscription, but here's where you make your money back. Okay. So our 2024, we're going to have details in the next week or two. I think we're going to have the theme and everything, all the announcements soon. The 2024 Finding Joy in Your Home online conference is going to be coming up in May. We're going to have all the details for you very, very soon. So tickets for our annual conference would normally be about $60. And that's every single year. We've done one since 2014. They've never been free. We've always had the ticket and they've been amazing, awesome. Well, now you're going to get to access the 2024 Finding Joy in Your Home online conference with your $10 subscription.
With the subscription.
For that app. And and what I've also been telling people is if you just want to attend the conference, you can sign up for that month.
Yeah.
And then cancel it at the end of the month. There's no rules. You're not locked in.
It's not like a subscription where you're locked into a year or something like that.
So
it's just a month-to-month thing.
If you're really tight on money, join for $10, watch the conference, and then you can cancel. You can always come back later.
And then it can be our motivation to continue to put high quality stuff in there to convince people not to cancel after a month.
Well, the thing is though, if you want to participate in the conference, which is such an amazing time every year, instead of paying $60, you could pay 6 months of the app.
Yeah.
Right. So then let's say, okay, yeah, I'm going to pay for a couple months. Then let's decide, in July, we're going to run a new boot camp. Our meal plan boot camp's been really popular. Maybe we're going to do some new boot camp that you're like, I need that. Well, our boot camps tend to be about $40. And that, you get a lot of stuff for that $40. Well, now in July, you get to access that new boot camp for $10 with your subscription. But you don't just get those two products. You are getting our entire back catalog. Well, I was one word. Back catalog of courses, conferences, all of those audiobooks, videos, workshops, all the things we're doing and putting out. You get access to everything. And that's where it starts to be oh, okay. I can see what's going to be in this. So like I kind of said, we're actually kind of taking quite a big risk with the model of this new thing because instead of being able to kind of ballpark estimate how much revenue we're going to bring in from that conference, we're taking that payment, the tickets launch. Well, it won't be tickets. It'll be, whatever. But, announcements launch for it. Instead of $60 signups, it's going to be $10 signups, But we are also banking on the fact that you guys are going to love everything in this app so much that you're going to stick around and you're going to tell your friends. So if you love it, please tell your friends.
Yep.
But no, really, I mean, this is one thing that we really have looked at kind of the digital marketplace this year. And we know that people are really having a hard time spending $60 on a conference.
That's been the case for a few years now. It's just
especially this last year, though.
We've always
really hit.
We've always had to stay on top of like, how the online world is going, being in an online business as we are. And so being able to try to stay, relevant and actually just creating content and, in a format that people are actually currently interested in is obviously necessary for our survival. And it does seem like, it probably has to do with economy as well as just, oversaturation of certain things online. It's all basically just adding together to say, having the one product that you're promoting for a price is just it's not nearly as much or as often in people's budgets anymore. And so going to this model is allowing us to be able to create the same sort of high quality content and hopefully even more of it, but at a $10 monthly price instead of a $40 or $60 ticket.
Another thing too is I think one of the things the last few years is like there are so many online courses now. There's so many people doing videos. There's so much noise online. And actually, I really feel like instead of having so much better access to like higher quality stuff, I actually feel like a lot of times now I can't even find as much good information because there's so much stuff out there. And so one of the benefits of this app is it's bringing we have content going all the way back to 2012. Our first online conference was 2014. It's bringing all of this stuff that we have done for years and years and years and putting it in a way that's like immediately you can see it. Immediately, where you kind of buy an online course and it kind of disappears and you're like, where's my login? Well, how do I find that? I don't like it's kind of I think a course can just be hard because it's just so hard to see what it is. So one of the things last week I was loading into the app was I was going all the way back through my whole catalog of any Azure videos that I've ever done. So Azure is a, once a month kind of truck delivery that we get like most of our groceries from. And I always do like a video haul of them. I have like 10 videos where I've shared what I get every month. I get people ask me all the time, where are those videos? Like, it's just one of those things like you put out there and then it gets lost. I had so much fun getting all of those videos into the app because there's a whole category now. Like, and that's one little small example. But like when you literally can just go in the app and search like time management and find everything that we've ever done. Search herbs, I mean, there's so much stuff that I think that, so if you go to joyfulhomeapp.com, it actually shows you like that is the actual website. You can see, that's why one thing I love too, you don't have to download and pay for the app to see what it is.
Yeah, you can see everything that's in it.
The stuff's locked.
Just by looking.
The stuff's locked. You can't watch it all, but you can literally see everything that's in it. And the thing is, the app, like Jason was saying, the app is in its infancy this week. I mean, right now, over the weekend, Jason has, I think it's 10 or 11 courses that are like loaded and set to draft because I have to make some images for him. And so like, just from this weekend of uploading. So we're still like, we're in that like upload cycle of Jason getting like, I mean, we have hundreds of just back catalog stuff that needs to be uploaded still and sorted through, let alone that's all these new things.
One of the really cool things about the app, which has never been a possibility the way that we've done our digital content up to now, is everything is searchable. And so like
all in one spot. Like
so instead of being, sometimes, we have our stuff siloed in various products. So it's like, the 2015, homemaking conference and the 2019 homemaking conference and the 2023 homesteading conference.
Well, I get all the time people are like, oh, there was a conference session. We've been doing these since 2014. There was a conference session on like meal planning something, and I'm like, which one was it? And I'm like, I have no clue. I don't remember. So like being able to just like search
now, having them all, they're still
search meal planning.
They're still organized in series as a product, just like it would be.
You could just like
so you could just search for like the 2014 conference and it's all there. But
it's not on there yet.
If you're searching, that particular one we haven't loaded in.
We're working on it,
but it will be very soon. But you could search just for a keyword as opposed to a product like the 2014 conference. You could search for meal planning, and a ton of resources from over the years are going to show up. And
you know what's another? Sorry.
That was.
You're too excited. So it made me think though. So another thing Jason's going to do once he gets all the back catalog uploaded is what we're also going to do is we're going to have this one category on the homepage that's going to be little circle images of because with our conferences, with so many different things, we have worked with dozens and dozens of incredible other women. So like Marcy Farrell, for example, she's amazing. I don't know if she does as much anymore, but she's Thankful Homemaker. She's incredible. She has spoken at so many of our different things. So there's going to be a little picture of Marcy, and you can click on her and it'll bring up everything that Marcy has ever done. Lisa Jacobson.
With us, not of her own stuff.
We're stealing everybody else's things. All the stuff that she's done with us. Jamrell Stewart I've done many things with her. So it'll just be able to, for the people who've done multiple things, you're going to be able to just click on them and see all their stuff, which is like, oh, it's going to be so cool. So I get so excited and I'm like, Jason, are you sitting down to work on the app today? Like, come on. No, but he has been. We took some time off today to not be on the computer, which has been very nice. So what's great is like, I felt like getting it launched, I'm like, there's nothing in here yet compared to what's going to be in the next month. And every other comment a lot of you guys listening have already subscribed, but I've heard from so many of you who are like, whoa, there is so much in here. This thing is packed. And I'm like, yes, just wait. It's going to be amazing. So that's really our aim. Our aim is to jam pack this with so much incredible content that it's 100% worth.
And of all sorts, audiobooks, video courses, ebooks. We have like documentaries planned. I mean, we're not saying all this is happening this year. This is the long haul. We have documentaries planned that we want to do. I have several books that I am working on. I've got some that are like little guides. I've got 2 big books in mind. One of them, which I'm actually actively working on. All of those things are going to be in the app. Jason's working on, he's going to start working on once we get through this, Sterling Spectacles 7 and 8. The audiobooks will be in there as well as the ebook versions. I mean, the amount of stuff like, I have so many. I'm like, Jason, we could do this eventually. Well, we have ideas for like even like new video series that will be on the app. So
we have there's so many great things.
Yeah.
So many great things. One of the things that will actually be coming sooner rather than later, I titled it what I call it's like already in the coming soon, like Jason and Jamie React.
Yeah, I think that's
video series. So what we want to do is if you guys listen to the Bright Hearth podcast, which you should go listen to it if you don't.
It's really good.
It's really good. So Bright Hearth kind of they walk you through like room by room through the Christian household. And they bring up so many incredible, fantastic things. So what we have long wanted to do, which we've actually had requested from several of you, is to go episode by episode through Bright Hearth and do like our own kind of reaction video because
not just a reaction, but more like a reaction and
like commentary,
yeah, sure.
So like what our takeaways are, or like there's even things like that we would listen to that we would go in a different direction, like not a critique of Bright Hearth at all, but like a continuation of of like what we would do in our household,
like a reply almost, or like
or like a furthering the discussion, or because the thing is too, everybody has different personalities, every household's going to run differently, so they might have a great idea, but we would do it different, and so the goal would be like you listen, so maybe you'll listen to the Bright Hearth podcast episode 1. And then you'll listen to our episode.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really fun.
And that's how we'll start it out. That show might end up morphing and going in other directions too.
Well, we're going to do, I think the plan is to do season 1 of Bright Hearth.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, they're on like season 5 now.
Or 4, I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I have no idea. So we're going to do season 1 at least, and we'll see. The other thing we want to do is have a whole collection of book reviews.
Yes.
So like 5-minute book reviews whenever we finish like a really worthwhile book, like one of us will be on and do like a really quick.
If you've been around for 5 minutes, you know that we both like to read a lot. So, and actually having book reviews has been a long requested thing that we've just never had really
a collection of book reviews.
Yeah.
Like I want that. I want your, cause he's always giving me book reviews. I want like your book reviews that I can just scroll through and be like,
well, people ask you all the time, like, what did you think of that book? Like, well, you should review them. But like,
people are like, somebody just asked me on Instagram the other day and I think I forgot to respond because I couldn't remember what it was. Oh no, they were asking about a seminary thing. I need to ask you that later.
Oh, okay. This is new to me. I don't know.
People ask all the time, like, oh, Jason was reading a book on baptism. What was it? And I'm like, I don't remember. So like having those all there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we'll probably.
It's going to be really fun. I get too excited.
That's going to be a project where we'll make them. When we've read a new book that we really like, we'll probably sit down and do a review. And also then we'll also try to fit in back catalog. Like, what are some books that we've read in the past?
You could sit down in an hour and film like 20 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So we're hoping that we'll be able to fill that out and have a substantial amount sooner than later.
Okay, but also you guys who are subscribers, let us know, like, if you're like, we need the book reviews, like, let us know because sometimes I'm like, this is a great idea. Hopefully people like it. Yeah. So if anything we've talked about, you're like, put that to the front of the line. We would love your feedback.
Well, and it might be books that we've read before, or it might be books where...
Still talking about the book reviews. I just mean like anything.
I thought you meant books. I actually thought
no.
talking about.
Oh, I see. Yes.
You mean other ideas.
If there's books that you want us to review, let us know. But I just meant like, out of all the different projects we've talked about, if you're like, do the podcast, like if current subscribers, especially if you're like, I want this next. Yeah. I'm not going to promise it'll be next, but that feedback really helps us to prioritize. It will help to inform
the content calendar
what's
of
coming
what we're actually going to be prioritizing and doing. So
all Jason's thinking about is books.
No, I'm no.
Jason's already like, I've already planned my first 30.
Yes.
He's so good though. I can't wait to have that. But that's okay. So we get all these requests for doing, and we have like book lists, but they're not that accessible. Like people will be like, what books do you read on baptism? Yeah. You could literally do like a review on like, these are the 8 books I read on the different points of view of baptism, which ones are helpful. I mean, it can be like a 5 or 10 minute video. Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. I need to write these ideas down.
Yeah, don't forget.
No, you're going to do them. They won't let us forget. So anyway.
If it was a good idea, it will come up somewhere and we'll make sure it happens.
Yes. Okay, so I'm sorry. You guys are getting like on the air. Jason and Jamie getting way too excited about this project. But I mean, it really, like, this is the coolest thing we've ever done. Like, it's taking everything we've ever done.
It's just really it's simplifying everything for one.
Simplifying it, but like
streamlining it.
Simplifying it in like a maximizing way.
Yeah.
Because it's like making it the Uber version of what everything could be.
Yeah. It's like it's a simplification, which is allowing us to expand as opposed to shrink.
Well, it's also great. Like, let's talk like the 2015 conference. There are so many incredible sessions, and it's like, I haven't watched those since 2015. Yeah. And so it's gonna bring and when we've been uploading stuff the last couple of weeks, I'm like, I completely forgot about that talk. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that series. Yeah. There's so much in there that I'm like, oh, this is just going to bring everything.
Having them in this app and searchable and just in categories and in featured and stuff is going to make all of our amazing content, especially like you're saying, some of the older stuff, just that much like easier to find without even trying.
Those topics are timeless. Yeah. They're not bound to 2015. Now, I will say, don't judge my 2014 conference videos too harshly, because those were some of my first video that I really did. They were decent, I feel like.
I don't even remember.
But I feel like I was probably more like reading from a script.
I remember having a nightmare getting them uploaded on our terrible internet back then, but I don't remember.
2014 was a lifetime ago in the internet world.
Yeah. I mean, it was a decade ago.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy. That should not surprise me, but it does. Okay, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to stop talking because we're almost at an hour. Sorry, babe, when you have to edit this later.
That's okay. I don't need to sleep.
Who needs sleep? No, it's just taking away from our app time to work on the app. Okay, so a couple FAQs for questions. Yes, this is different than my homemaking mentor.
That has been a question.
If you have an MHM membership, you could just keep accessing it like you normally do. So we're in the middle of our 12-month productive household course. March's theme is meal planning. I believe April is gardening. I don't know. It's all in the archives. But we've got all those courses are still coming out. You're going to be able to access it just like you normally do. So you don't have to pay for the subscription to get access to your current MHM stuff. You have access. You will retain access to all that stuff.
If you own MHM, you're not losing it. You still have it.
You still have it. You have access to, I mean, you're always going to forever be able to access all of that stuff. The same as you're not losing access. Any products you've ever purchased from us, 2015 conference, freshly milled course, if you've purchased those in our shop,
you own them. They're yours.
You own them forever. You will always be able to access them. At some point, we may have to move where our library is, but you'll just get a new login. Yeah. You will get to keep that forever. And so if you want, some people are like, oh, if I want to continue accessing my purchases, I have to sign up for the subscription. No, anything you've purchased before this weekend, and we're taking our whole entire shop is going to be down. The only place you'll be able to newly sign up for our stuff will be in the app. Yeah. But if you've purchased stuff in the past, you always have access to that. We would never take that away.
No, that would be horrible.
And you just normally go to your library like you normally would, findingjoyshop.com. Okay, yes, I did say this earlier, but yes, you can sign up for 1 month of the app, cancel it, sign up again the next month. You're not locked into anything. You have no, ongoing things or anything like that. Yep. So
pricing. You want to talk about pricing?
Yeah, you want to do
it? Our normal monthly price for the app is $12.99 per month. However,
can I say one caveat to that really fast? So the Apple and the Google stores.
Oh yes, good to point that out.
They're kind of terrible. Are they going to kick us off? They have ridiculous price. So we pay. If you've ever purchased anything through our store, we pay fees on the back end that nobody knows about.
Like it's like
any
a credit
processing
card processor,
fee. Right.
Like you're going to pay fees. Any online, payment processor costs money.
Yeah.
But
if you send us $12.99, we don't get $12.99. However, Apple and Google take like 30% more or something insane.
It depends. It's not quite that simple.
Well, whatever. So they take a ton more. So, and we can't use coupon codes through Apple and Google. So technically you could download the Apple and the Google app. And
sign up and make a subscription
and you could
through them.
Sign up through there. However, don't do that. Go to joyfulhomeapp.com. And that when you sign up there, you'll see a spot to put the coupon code in. Yeah. And then it'll have you make your username and password. And then you download the app because you can download the app without paying. You pay like inside the app. So you download the app.
Yeah, because you can have a free subscription.
Yes. Download the app and then you sign in and it gives you full access to your entire subscription and everything there. And that's how you can then you can sign in on multiple devices. So
we currently are running because
$12.99 a month.
Yes, it's normally $12.99 a month, but we're launching it. It's a big, exciting time. We're still working on filling it out. And so we are very excited to say that we're running a 25% off for basically the life of your subscription. As long as you keep it consistent, then you have the same discount every month of it's Joyful Home, and you get 25% off.
Yeah, so it makes your subscription
like
$9.75. Actually, it's $9.74.
Oh, okay,
is what it works out to. And then the annual plan is even cheaper. So when we were discussing prices, and I finally set this up, Jason's like, "Are you sure you're doing that big of a discount?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." So you're welcome. So the annual plan, we actually have had a crazy amount of annual plans. And I wasn't expecting the annual plans as much because it's brand new and we're still filling it out. I figured people will want to take it a couple months and see. We have had so many annual plans.
It's been more than I expected.
Jason's like, "We made it too cheap."
That's the thing my dad would always say. If you're having more signups than expected or more sales than expected, it's too cheap.
Okay, never mind. It's $99 a month. So the annual plan is an even bigger discount because the 25% off coupon works. And it's already discounted. Do you remember how much it's discounted?
It's something like it's already like
2 months free or something.
18% off. It's 2 months free, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So you're already getting 2 months free. And then 25% off. And so I think that's why we've been having. So I don't know that combination of discounts is going to last super long because that is you're getting like 4 or 5 months free then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Something like that, if my math is correct, which I'm not good at math. So like Jason said, the great thing is this 25% off. A lot of times with apps and stuff, people will be like 25% off your first month. And you're like, "Gee, thanks." So the 25% off is every single month. And it also does apply to your annual plan. Yep. 25% off as long as you keep it. And so, so we're really, really excited to be able to offer the crazy discount, which is really fun. So if you want to check it out, that will run through the end of March. So go to joyfulhomeapp.com. You can check it out. Use the coupon code JoyfulHome. Nice and easy to remember. You can download the free version if you want to just, kind of check it out and play around. You can kind of click around and see
what sort of stuff is in it.
Mm-hmm. And then stay tuned because coming Monday, what's Monday, the 18th or 19th?
18th.
Jason will have new stuff coming
and
Monday. And we're going
to be releasing daily or at least weekly for a very long time because we have a lot of stuff to continue.
And then because we have so much back catalog.
Yeah.
And then the crazy intense amounts of new stuff will slow down as it's just brand new stuff that's coming out. Mm-hmm. But then every month there will be new stuff and we'll kind of figure out our publishing schedule. Like Jason said, we're kind of right now in content creation, trying to plan out and then also planning out my maternity leave, like how much we need to have pre-recorded and ready for all that to come. And so we're kind of still in the planning phases of getting all that planned out. But anyway, if you guys have any other questions, please reach out, let us know.
Questions, ideas, suggestions, all that.
Yeah, the things you want to see, like subscribers, let us know and we will. Yeah. We have got a list. It's really fun. Oh, I just want to can you go do the book reviews right now? I don't know why I'm so excited. Is anybody else excited about the book reviews? Because I am. All right. Well, ladies, thank you. So not ladies, families, whoever's listening in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for letting us ramble your ear off for an hour. Mm-hmm. We're really excited. We're really thankful for this year. We're feeling a little overwhelmed in a few ways, but also really thankful that with such a crazy year that this app has come. I mean, God is just so good with his timing, because it's pointing 100% of all of our efforts in one single direction, which we've never had.
No, and that's simplifying it a lot.
One question though, we still are going to have our bookstore. So people, I keep saying we're simplifying everything.
Our physical products are not going away. In fact, they're also going to be expanding.
We have really good.
This is going to it's allowing everything to just kind of be in 2 places as opposed to 1 million.
Yes. And almost everything we do in the physical store that's book-wise will be in the app. The only exception right now is the cookbooks. And
those would not make good ebooks or audiobooks.
You have to. Would you like me to read a bunch of recipes?
Read a cookbook to you.
And the problem is you can't just upload it as like a PDF. You have to actually format them as like Kindle, like they're actual like e-reader versions. Files, so that's the one thing. But other than that, all of Jason's books, like I said, I have several books I'm working on. You'll be able to order Sterling Spectral 7 and 8 as print copies because I mean, you got to have those print copies. But you'll also get access to the audiobook and the ebook when they come out. So that's also really exciting because it's just really exciting and awesome. So, all right. I will officially be done. Let us know your questions. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys back here next week for the next episode. You gotta do it.
Bye. You do the ads.
All right. Then in a little while, you'll hear from our 2 sponsors for today's episode. We have Happy Mammoth and Honey Love. All right, we're going to take a brief pause for our first sponsor for today's episode, which is Happy Mammoth. You guys, you have probably heard me on this podcast talk so many times about hormones and hormone imbalances. It has been a huge, huge part of my journey as a mom, my healthy living journey, my journey of trying to fight for more energy, all of the things. And the more that I've shared about it and the more I've heard from women, hormone imbalances are just something that I think in our modern world, every single woman is dealing with on one level or another. And maybe you have symptoms that you don't even realize are caused by your hormones, because that was me. I didn't realize for a long time. And so people ask all the time for really good hormone resources for being able to find supplements for things that work not only through your childbearing years, but also through perimenopause. That will be my next step. Menopause, all of these life changes that we go through as women. And I'm so excited this year to be introduced to Happy Mammoth. So they have got just a fantastic line of supplements. You can check them out. I've got a great coupon code for you in just a minute. But Happy Mammoth is the company that created the supplement called Hormone Harmony. Okay, you can already hear it like in the title, what this is going to do for you. Hormone Harmony. They're dedicated to making women's lives easier. So it means that they use only science-backed ingredients that have been proven to work for women. They make no compromises when it comes to quality. And it shows. You can go see everything that they use. That's the number one thing I'm really picky about with supplements is what is in it. And it passes Jamie's check. I'm so excited to have Hormone Harmony in my pantry now, or in my medicine cabinet now, not my pantry. So one of the things they use, you guys have heard me talk about, is adaptogens. Adaptogens help your body adapt to stress. Adaptogenic herbs have been the number one thing that have helped me in my hormonal journey. I will not live without them now when I'm going through all the different stages of pre-pregnancy, pregnancy, postpartum, all the crazy swings that your body does. Adaptogenic herbs are amazing. So Hormone Harmony is perfect for women in childbearing years as well as perimenopause and menopause. And I think especially for menopausal women, it can be really hard to figure out what is actually going to help and what is what you can actually use and what you can do, because a lot of hormone stuff does get directed at those of us in childbearing years. So you want to go check out, if you're a woman, you want to go check out Hormone Harmony, see if it can help and what they have. It is awesome. So this is the great thing. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your first entire order by going to happymammoth.com and just use the code HOME at checkout. That's your coupon code HOME. You can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Use promo code HOME at checkout. All right, let's get back to the episode. All right, we're going to take a brief pause for our second sponsor for today's episode, which is Honey Love. This is a sponsor that I never thought I would have on the podcast because shapewear, it's really not ever been my thing. But believe it or not, we are headed already into wedding season again. And I actually got connected with Honey Love a couple of years ago, right before both of my brothers were getting married. And I had lots of lovely baby weight going on from my last baby. And I was like, oh, I could get some lightweight things to wear under my dresses, make me just feel, I don't need to look like a model, but I'd like to just feel a little better, a little more put together. You know what I mean? And so I started kind of looking into Honey Love and I was really, really impressed. So Honey Love has revolutionized compression technology. So you don't feel like you're suffocating while wearing shapewear. I have never had any interest in that, right? But they also don't roll down. So like they're so flexible. I can wear these under my dresses to church. They're so flexible and easy. And part of that is because they have this like targeted X compression. You can actually see it in the design where it gives you a little bit more support where you need it. And then it's got looser material, like it's not as constricting around like your hips. So I can wear it and pick up my babies and move around. Like it's sculpting your midsection without squeezing your natural curves. And it works so well. So it's designed to work with your body and not against it, because I never thought I would even want to wear shapewear, let alone be like, oh, I really like these. So Honey Love they've gotten it right with making these for real women who maybe would like a little bit of help, a little bit of extra support, and still be able to move around and pick up babies and do all the things. And so if you are looking for something to kind of just be like, oh, that would be really helpful, I really want to encourage you to go check it out. They have got the best bras and shapewears on the market, and you can save 20% off at honeylove.com/home. Just use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/home. And after you purchase, you'll be asked where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them that we sent you there. And you can go check it out, honeylove.com/home. All right, let's get back to the episode. All right, ladies, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, hearing all of our ramblings, all of our excitement, all the fun things going on. Don't forget to check out our two sponsors for today's episode. We have Happy Mammoth and Honey Love. And then you can also go check out our app at joyfulhomeapp.com. All right, ladies, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys back here next week for the next episode.